Kevin Smith's original ideas for the View Askewniverse world was to challenge himself by traversing through various genres. While Clerks was mostly a comedic trilogy with elements of drama and a little bit of romance sprinkled in by the end, Mallrats was a rom-com. Dogma I have yet to watch, but I do believe that it has something to do with fantasy with angels. I'll know soon enough. But Chasing Amy is a unique addition to the series that I categorize as romantic drama, or rom-dram for short. Chasing Amy tells the story of two best friends, Holden, played by Ben Affleck, and Banky, played by Jason Lee. Holden ends up falling in love with Alyssa, played by Joey Lauren Adams, who turns out to be a lesbian, but that doesn't really seem to matter. His love continues to burn like 1,000 embers. The real question is, what's gonna happen when she inevitably finds out? Out of all the different films that I've seen thus far, I would have to say that this one feels the least like the others. I initially considered the prospect that it could be insanely meta when the film began because you were watching Ben Affleck's character draw blunt men and chronic comic books, which obviously are based off of Jay and Silent Bob. For a second, I thought it could actually be so meta that this sole comic book writer actually invented Jay and Silent Bob, and we got to see where he got the inspiration for their characters. That theory, of course, dissipated as quick as it came on, but I still think that it would have been a really cool idea and more in line with the obscure vision usually seen in View Askewniverse films compared to what Chasing Amy actually ended up being. The main central idea of Chasing Amy is actually pretty good, but the way that it's done can be a little bit risky when you're dealing with LGBTQIA+ stories. In the past, and even now in some films, there was no real recognition of bisexuality, asexuality, pansexuality, or other non-binary sexual orientations. Instead, movies often showed that you were either gay or straight, period, absolutely no in between. Maybe they thought it would confuse too many people to say that you could be all these different things. Maybe they thought it would alienate other traditional or conservative viewers, I'm not really sure. But this certainly causes issues when a straight character wants to date a lesbian, especially when they manage to actually do it. The fact that Ben Affleck's character falls in love with a lesbian who then reciprocates the feelings might confuse or upset some people, especially nowadays. The movie attempts to explain this with various concepts of maybe some confusion, maybe some experimentation, but at the end of the day, she's still attracted to both men and women. That's bisexuality, baby. There, I fixed the confusion. Now, I mentioned that this was the furthest from a typical narrative that you would find in the View Askewniverse, particularly because it's the most grounded movie. And while Jay and Silent Bob do indeed show up at one point, it's mostly just a short cameo to do their bit and move on. It's funny though, I mean, Silent Bob has one of the longest monologues in the entire movie and probably out of any time his character speaks in any of these films. On one hand, it provides the film with an actual explanation of why this is called Chasing Amy, but on the other hand, watching Silent Bob act really talkative felt weird and off to me. It was wrong. He's the one that's only ever silent until there's a bit of sage advice that he needs to say, which helps the main character move past a fork in their path. He does technically do that again here, but the tangent that he takes feels way too run-on and rambling, which is very much unlike him. Past that, why do we watch this universe Kevin Smith created? For the interconnected stories and lively characters that excite you when they show up again. There weren't exactly very many characters in this film that specifically excited me at the prospect of seeing them again later on, although I know we do. For me, I'd be more excited to see the actors because, that's fun. Their characters? They're fine, they're alright, but mostly very average. That being said, I can say without a doubt in my head that the film could have been way worse, especially in its handling of LGBTQIA+ matters. On its own, it's a fair film that is sometimes funny, sometimes endearing, but rarely strong in its depiction of romantic chemistry. The idea is that this guy is heads over heels for this girl who he believes will never feel the same about him as he feels for her, and he's okay with that, because he loves her, he wants her to be happy, he just wants her to know how he feels. And it's just so romantic, and the love's in the air, and the sparks are flying at just the right moment, at the right time, or whatever. So they date. But for somebody to switch sides based on all of that lovey-dovey stuff, there better be some crazy good chemistry going on, and in my opinion, there just was not. So on its own, it is fine, it's serviceable. But if I ever got a View Askewniverse Blu-ray collection, I'd probably sigh a little bit when I got to this one. We'll just put it that way, I scored this film a C-. But yeah, guys, What about you? Have you seen Chasing Amy? Are you a fan of the View Askewniverse? If you are, which one's your favorite? Also, as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and the bell to be notified when I come out with the next review. But until then, peace out.
Chasing